welcome everyone to the second part of 4 videos to the campaign guide for static tier. So different layout. So now the spreadsheet, if you are new to the guides and this is your first one to see, first of all, welcome. And secondly, there is a new layout. So now the campaign spreadsheet is on the on your very left of your screen, meaning that you will not have to constantly pause the video as you would have done for the previous parts. And of course, we'll be talking about each match as we do go along. Now, we will be trying our best to do each match as super smooth as possible. However, there is no guarantee in which that is going to happen. As you can see here, we are on stage 64 now and we'll be going all the way to 84. We'll be showing how to do that. So, firstly, we do have this 64 now is down arrows. So, there will also be another thing. Batista will not be used at all in this campaign guide, meaning that we can't be using him at all. There may be some pay-to-win elements used, and also cards that you may not be able to get anymore will also be used in this campaign guide. So, hopefully, you can work your way around. So, with 64, we do have a male charisma match here at 559,000, female match in power at 667,000, and a male tag match in speed, which is 1.3 million. So, not looking like the easiest match stats in the world, but we will do what we can. So, firstly, the manager we're going to be definitely using is our Zelina Vega, mainly because Kiana James. Now, I've already fixed around my momentum slots, meaning that we can go from there, really. Now, I'm actually no, I'm not going to be using Zelina at all. I'm going to be using Heenan. So, we're going to be using Austin Theory as well, with the speed equipment. And Nathan Frazier's also going to be getting speed equipment as well. You can probably sort of see the reasons as to why. And then Santa, actually a very low number at 559. So if we do need to, we could actually potentially swap. Actually, no, we will use Cody, actually. And then we do not need Nathan Frazier at all. Now, of course, be wary. Cody has lost his champ boost now. Meaning that he will not proc 24/7. And then we'll just put that on Shanta. And then we will use a Charisma Manager just to cover Cody. Actually, wait, no, we do not need... no, we cannot use a Charisma Manager, actually. We do actually need to use that Speed Manager, because I've just realised it is 1.3 mil. So, I'm just going to make sure that Charisma Match is fine. It's 559. Cody is on at 568. So, here we go now. Oh, it didn't put the table on for Kiana. Okay, so bear with me. So, Cody, first of all, against Jack Gable. Now, knowing that either doesn't show the single stats first, we show them double stats. Now, this is where we would use a table as well. Against, there is Wendy Richter. We will use a table for this match, however. And then, of course, these two, which are fine on their own. Well, should be fine on their own. And there we go. So yeah, just know Kiana James with a static pro table will be more than fine on that. If you cannot win that, however, you could super move this match, which we actually only just won, meaning that this is your match you'll most likely want to super move. However, you do also have this match, which you could, as long as you've got much better speed equipment than, of course, than I do. We'll just show equipment off. So on Santa, we used this speed equipment. Austin Theory, we used this speed equipment. on Cody Rhodes, we used this equipment, which is just an Adventure t-shirt. If we used it, it would be a different story. And then Kiana James just uses this as her equipment. Of course, with Joe Hendry, it'll be a different story, of course. And going from there. So next up is 65, and it's all charisma. Now, this match is annoying for two reasons. One of them is, well, I don't have the females for this, so I couldn't remaster the stage if I wanted to. So yeah, that's annoying. And secondly, this match is all charisma. So, but luckily this tier does have some decent amount of charisma people. Of course, Santa Claus and Cody, Damian Priest also proxying charisma, however, not the best option. But as I show the numbers here, and as you can see here it is. So we have a charisma at 629, a female tag match, which is our super move match at 1.7 million. And then our male charisma match at 673. So, as you can see, so we actually will put some equipment on Tiff just to sort of increase her. So we're just going to put on some Eon equipment just to sort of higher her stats up a little bit. As you can see there, she'll get to 800k. Remember, this will be a with a super move, so that will actually go up to 900k on super move. And then, of course, Santa is fine. Cody is... he's not quite fine yet, but we do have that support as well. We could also use a pump up here or a universe, but we do not have a universe on this account. So, as you can see, we are going to use Steph. Now, the reason we're using Steph and not like Maurice, because we don't have her. The game don't want to give me her. So, here is our support use here at 693. There for Cody. Nice easy one there. Of course, if you did miss out on a Santa, that is very unfortunate. Now, these two would win with a super move, however, but of course that also eliminates their support, which is very good. Of course, you could also use Jade and Tiff, but I do not think they will work. And then, of course, Santa Claus making this match very easy, and he props as well. And as you can see, we did get 2 stars, but again, that match that we did lose was this match, which was the super move match. Anyway, we did not have a super move. There for stage 65, we will just show equipment off. You've seen this one before. Of course, we used it a lot in the previous one as well. Cody's equipment is just the Adventure t-shirt, which you've seen before. Assuming you've seen the first part. And then, of course, we did just use a Eon equipment here. I wouldn't recommend using this stuff for anyone else. But it's there if you want it. And you actually can't get it anymore. Okay, so 66. Now, is, again, a very annoying one for a different reason. It's Kiana James again. Now, this will also require us to do a super move. So, as you can see here, we will use our only one equipment use actually, because the Santa match is very easy. It's 501. Of course, we do also have Theory, which we could use. Of course, we could also just use a speed equipment and just absolutely annihilate them, but we are going to be getting a table out as we get started on this match. Of course, if you do have a full heroic Theory, this match is very straightforward for you. But yeah, as you can see, Santa will win that just about, but it is still a very easy win. Of course, with no equipment. For this match, we will be using our table. Now, do be aware, they do use a table in this match, so just be quite wary of that. You should be fine with just the normal super move, though. However, do not take any risks. Do use power equipment on your super move just to increase it. And of course, just the equipment shown for Kiana here is the power equipment. As we now move on to stage 66. 67, sorry. Okay, so 67, we have a female attacking speed, which is annoying. So, but we should be able to get that done fairly straightforwardly. And then we do have a male toughness match and a male tag match. Now, a little bit difficult this stage, well, especially for doing it without super move. But again, we are just trying to win. We're just trying to win the 2 matches, and then we're going to be pushing it from there. So, let's use Tiffany Stratton. So, this is our first adventure card use, ironically. So, for this match, we will also be using Santa once again. As you know, let's use Nathan Frazier. We should be alright with him, hopefully. So, why we're not. Just gonna check the stats. 560. Oh, it's 575. Right, never mind. We are not using Nathan Frazier. We are going to be using Santa Claus. So, of course, there we go. 644. Easy. And then for Alba here, we're just going to put some speed equipment on her. Again, this is where we are going to also be using treats present from Naughty or Nice. However, a ladder should work for this as well, convincingly as well. Of course, at that 1.2 million, which is annoying, but it is very much doable. So we will now show the match. And as you can see, we're going to be using a support on this match. And that is 1.3 mil, which is good because Jade there lets that team down. Of course, we did manage to use the adventure card there. Of course, Santa Claus beat Cody Rhodes. And then this third match, again, super move. Of course, if you do have really good toughness equipment, then you could attempt it. However, I wouldn't recommend it. Simply just because of the equipment of the that speed match for the females. Hence why I just said throw it on Team Females and get the 2 wins easily, and then go from there. Because we did get 2 stars because we did not have a super move of use. So just show the equipment once again. Here is Santa Claus's toughness equipment. With this, if we did use Logan Paul, it would be a bit different. However, this just acts as a normal static equipment. And next up will be Alba Fire's equipment, which is just here. Which looks decent. And then lastly is just Tiffany Stratton's equipment here. And now we are blitzing through and we're going to stage 68. So 68 again, not really an annoying, well there's one annoying match for me anyway, just for my cards. However, this toughness match, this charisma match, just there you can easily use Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill as long as you've got support with it. And we will be focusing on this toughness match, however, to complete level. So let's get into it. So Santa actually wins on his own, which is a very good thing. So this is why I said get Jade or Tiff. That is the reason why, because I do not have anyone. But of course, if you are going to forge anyone, of course, as I mentioned, there's a lot of people you could forge. I'm going to be using Theory and Cody. Santa can win on his own, so we are not that stressed about it. So we are going to be attempting this 1.33 million match, which, you know, is definitely not the easiest match, but it can be done, which is good. So we have the clothing present. Santa is fine on his own. for this one. Equally though, if we do want to be secure, we will put a just a equipment on him. Spam being much higher than of course the other counterparts. So we'll just use this toughness charisma equipment. Now, not the best, but it will do. So let's get into it. Now this one of matches which for some annoying because you do have to win a super move on that charisma charisma female match. But for this we are going to be using Santa Claus. Costs 559,000. And then this is the match. I actually really badly set up this. So I'm going to redo it because I forgot that it was a toughness match. So this stuff does happen in the campaign, that's why I just forget. That is actually a toughness match that I was setting it up for. Of course, this would be your super move match. Just here that I'm showing you now. But yeah, you can just use any toughness equipment basically and you'll be alright. Of course, do apologise about my stupidity there. So, let's get into some toughness. Actually toughness now. That is staying in the old recording because I do not edit this footage. Anyway, I digress. So now we actually don't really have that much good toughness equipment wise on this account anyway. Don't really have that many good ones. However, we have good enough, which is always good. That's good enough. May not be amazing, but it's good enough. Does its job. Now we're going to be using Maxi Manager Pro here, and then we are going to use that support in that for that second match. Now that I'm not being stupid. So yeah, as you can see once again here with this sort of footage, we are basically now that's when we're going to use support. A guitar should also work for that more than fine. It's about an 8k difference, no 10k difference, sorry. But yeah, it should be more than fine. Of course, they did proc as well. And then I'm actually I'm actually not going to super move there. Do I super move? If I win, I win. Not, it's what it is. I've already done it. It's 1.4 mil anyway. Yeah, we're fine. So, yeah, as you can see there is a beautiful win there. Of course, I know it shows 3 stars there, and that is how you would beat that stage. Just for the shoving of equipment on Santa Claus, we just use this terrible charisma equipment just to increase the stats a bit more, because why not? Theory's equipment had the drone, however, it's just a normal static knee pads. We'll do the same thing, of course, we had Logan, different thing. And then Cody Rhodes here with this just mid toughness equipment, but it's toughness and it cost me a lot of credits to get. And then no one else had equipment. So now we move on to stage 69. Now this one annoying for 2 reasons. Reason number 1, speed matches. So as mentioned, this is where we are going to be using our Tiffany Stratton again, which is thankfully already in the deck. So we are going to be using Tiff here with the boots. Now the reason we're doing this match is we are going to be supporting it. So hopefully these two can win. It's just above 1.2 million, luckily, which is more than fine. Santa Claus will also take the. Actually, no, we're not going to be using Santa Claus. We're going to be using Austin Theory for this for that third match. Second match, sorry. 584 should be good. Yep. And then it's just this sort of annoying match here with Santa and Cody. However, we'll be using our support in the first match anyway. So this is just more for stat increase sake. The other equipment is there. So yeah, these two will lose. However, you could try to do it with the Mr. Stormager, but again, it is 1.27, so that is quite close to the number that you're ideally looking for. Of course, if you did have a Robert Stone Manager, you'd be able to get away with it. No, you wouldn't be able to get away with that online. You'll need either Maurice Steph from the quest, which is currently, by the time you watch this, most likely ended. But as you can see there, that is where we would use our support. Of course, Santa is the next one. No, it's not Santa, sorry, it's Austin Theory for the next one. Of course, 581. I mean, equally, if you swapped the for Charisma Manager, you can use Charisma Support on the third with that setup, and it will be fine. So just keep that in mind. Of course, you don't necessarily have to do the first two matches. You can super move the first one, and then win the second and third. So yeah, the other match we lost there is a super move. However, interchangeable. You can win it. You just need to swap your manager around. And so we move on. That is Santa's Adventure T-shirt. Austin Theory just had this quite bad prize equipment, but it is what it is. It was more than good anyway. Cody Rhodes had this equipment just here. Tiffany Stratton had this equipment here with the speed boots, which you've seen before. And then lastly, Alba had these speed boots, which is also good. Alright, and now it's stage 70, the last stage of the campaign, for this part anyway. Difficult one. 2 reasons. Every stat is 1.6 mil, and toughness, and there's a few ways you can do this. However, we're going to be using, we'll be winning the first 2 matches. Of course, remember that 1.6 million. 1.3 million there on every single one, meaning we need 650Ks for ages. So that is where this match does get very annoying, and of course this is some of the most sort of egregious sort of things. Now we actually are not going to be using Matisse, because that, again, against the rules. So we're going to be using Austin Theory and Santa for our first match. And then the third match, we are going to super move. Because we do need the toughness equipment for the females, just to make sure they are good enough for that 1.3 million on their half anyway. Of course, Alina supports the first of the male tags. So, yeah, as you can see there, they are more than fine. They'll go up to about 1.4 mil. Of course, you can use superstars like Lex Luger, Damien Priest, British Bulldog, as well, as alternatives. Now, this one with Kiana and Alba is where we would use our support, as you can see. Nice and easy. And then this last match will be our match of using where we would use our super move. Of course, I do not have one at the minute. And as you can see there, Bron Breakker would be defeated in basically every way possible, of course. You get his math wrong, of course. The only match we did lose was our super move match. And then just finally, just show the equipment off. Austin Theory had this adventure equipment. Again, since we did not use Joe Hendry, we did not get the boost. And then Santa Claus had this equipment. Again, Joe Hendry did not have the boost, so this 88,000 is null. And then toughness equipment, of course, we had the drone. Of course, we did not use Logan with it, so we do not get the boost for that. Equally, though, you can get the same stats on all special equipment on normal equipment, so you just don't get the additional 114,000 or whatever it is. Then lastly, Apple Fire with just some Venture knee pads. Alright, and that is everything. So the next part of the campaign will be moving on to left arrows. Now, this one will be a interesting one for one reason, stage 75. We'll be on that we'll be up on that next video. So of course, thank you very much for watching. We do have 2 more parts, of course, 71 to 77 and 78 to 84, and then that is the campaign guide done. So big thank you to everyone for watching, and goodbye.